All right, guys, I am out in the twilight and I'm gonna do something that I have never done before. Now, this video is a result of my patrons over on Patreon. I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel, but I asked you guys what you wanted to see next in my best budget firearms accessories, and you guys voted hands down you wanted to see the best budget night vision optics. Now, to put budget in perspective, I mean, I do have a video on like the best budget red dots under $50. Can't get night vision under $50, okay? So most quality night vision starts at about $20,000 or $30,000, right? So we're gonna be looking mostly in the sub $500 range. I've got a few really good options that I think are gonna be awesome, but we gotta test them out. So we are just waiting for the light to get completely dark so we can try out the best budget night vision. You guys ready? I'm Dan, this is Guns and Guitars. Let's get started. Here's to you guys. All right, guys, today we have a couple of really awesome Gen 1 night vision optics setups that are totally usable. Now, when I originally set out to make my video on the best budget night vision optics, I was trying to keep it under $500, but actually these two setups work totally awesome and they come in at actually less than $300. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Now, also originally I had planned on demoing a digital night vision rifle scope to compare to these analog Gen 1 rifle scopes, but that one actually turned out to be a dud, so I had to send it back to the manufacturer. So this video is only going to be about Gen 1 night vision, and what sets Gen 1 night vision apart from digital night vision is that Gen 1 night vision cannot be used during the day. Okay, you'll notice on this lens cover right here that it says, caution, do not open in daylight, okay? That's because the image intensifier tubes in these things are actually destroyed by massive amounts of light because they are meant to take a small amount of light and they do some kind of crazy science involving electrons and photons and croutons, and they excite all those molecules and they turn a very small amount of light not perceivable to the human eye into light that we can actually see. But that's actually probably the biggest drawback to Gen 1 night vision or any generational night vision is that actual light, broad daylight, or even the headlight from a car can be enough to destroy the image intensifier tubes. So you can't ever open this up with an intense amount of light. Another major drawback to Gen 1 night vision is that the image can be distorted and get a little bit blurry depending on the direction of your light source, okay? And that's something that you'll notice a little bit more when I actually put a camera behind these and you actually look through them yourselves. But if you're looking for an advantage for nighttime hunting or tactical training or home defense in low light scenarios, then Gen 1 night vision optics can still give you a major advantage while maintaining a really discrete profile. For example, if you were to use a flashlight, that would give away your position entirely, okay? But if you use Gen 1 night vision, far more discrete, it'd be far more difficult for a predator or an assailant to pick you up under the cover of darkness. Okay, first up on the list, we have the Firefield NVRS. All right, this is with the Firefield NVRS. Wow, this one works a lot better. Yeah. This scope works great. This is much better. Much better than that digital one. I like this. I could see using this one, definitely. All right, so after shooting some of this night vision, I mean, it works pretty good. And I think if you want to stay hidden or discreet, it works all right. But compared to just a flashlight, like here I've got an Olight BALDR PRO on there. I think unless you're really wanting to stay hidden, because obviously you turn on your flashlight, it's a dead giveaway. Okay, so unless you really want to stay hidden, which maybe you do if you're doing some nighttime hunting or tactical espionage of some kind, then this would come in handy. I don't know, it really just depends on how you're going to be using this. I don't think I've made my mind up entirely if night vision is something that I could really get into, because you guys know me, I'm a flashlight guy. So I don't know, this feels really good. I love being able to do this. It does come with an integrated infrared light on it for lower light situations, and it's powered by two AA batteries, which power both the night vision optics and the infrared laser if you are using it. I know a lot of these night vision optics, people complain that they have to unmount the optic from the rifle to replace batteries. That's not the case with this one. You can access the battery door right there and change them without having to mess up the zero on your rifle. Now, like I mentioned, Gen 1 night vision optics can't really be used in the daylight, so I would say the biggest drawback to this setup is that once you mount this to your rifle, it's a nighttime only rifle. Now they do have a tiny little pinhole right here in that front cap, so you can actually sight it in daylight, but it's very difficult to see, it's very difficult to do, but it is possible. So you can actually turn it on during the day as long as you don't open that up. You can still punch paper with it to make sure that you are set for your nighttime hunt. It does have an adjustable rubber eyepiece, so whether you are a right-handed or a left-handed shooter, doesn't really matter. And an adjustable quick release mount that does hold very securely. All right, the other night vision setup that I'm gonna show you guys today is the Sightmark Ghost Hunter Goggle Kit. This is actually technically not a rifle scope. This is a goggle kit that has a single monocular. Okay, this monocular is not a rifle sight. There's no integrated reticle. There's no magnification. It's really just a Gen 1 night vision monocular. So I paired it up with this Sightmark IR6 Infrared Laser. Now, these two together make a really killer combo. Now, the reason why I chose the Sightmark IR6 as the best budget infrared laser sight is not only did it hold zero and it's plenty rugged, but at this price point, it actually comes with an additional tailpiece that has a remote pressure switch. So that's a super awesome feature if you plan to mount this on your rifle. All right, that works pretty good. I like this setup. So this is a night vision setup that I can really see myself getting on board with, okay? As opposed to the other scopes, I love having the monocular on the headgear. I know I look like something out of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids when I'm wearing it, but I love being able to see night vision out of one eye and regular vision out of the other, because what I'm learning out here is that night vision can be disrupted by pretty much any light source. So right now we've got a full moon, so anytime we're looking into the moonlight, it's really disrupted, it's really foggy and hazy. But whenever I'm looking with the moonlight to my back, everything is like crystal clear. I can see, you know, not clear as day, but clear as night vision, I guess. But it works really well. So you can kind of use whichever eye is gonna give you optimal results, whether you're looking into the moon or looking away from the moon, whether the moonlight's helping you or putting you at a disadvantage. But the most important thing is that this laser right here is rad because it's so lightweight, it points so much easier. I don't have to hold the rifle up to my eye because the night vision looks wherever I look, and I can pretty much shoot from the hip using an infrared laser that only shows up in my night vision. So I see the dot through here, but you guys don't see the dot out there, and anybody looking at me, maybe if they were up really close, might see a very tiny red-orange glow coming from this laser, but really it's not much at all. So it's really cool. What I'm realizing is this is the setup that I thought that I was gonna like the least. I can see myself using an analog night vision scope like that one, but I expected that to be the best, but I think it's completely backwards. I like this one the best. Yeah, like I said, this setup is cool. I like being able to have a much lighter, more pointable laser setup, shoot from the hip really fast. I can see the dot in my night vision. The night vision looks wherever I'm looking. It just seems like a much better option. Now, I know this is a more tactical setup. I don't know how practical this is with hunting. You guys know I'm really not much of a hunter, but for nighttime target shooting, this is a blast. I mean, I can hit the target every time, and it's super fast follow-up shots. It's probably my personal favorite. So, this tree trunk right here is about 15 yards away. That one's about 25 yards, about 35, 45, 50, 60, that propane tank, about, yeah, 50, 60 yards away, probably 70 yards. So you can see probably out 80 or 100 yards with this. Those lights out there are actually probably, I don't know, half a mile away. It's picking them up, so it's pretty impressive. All right, so just to give you some perspective, obviously here's what it looks like without the night vision. It's completely black out here. You can't really see anything except for some lights very dimly out there in the distance, at least a half mile away. So here's what it looks like now, actually with just a flashlight. This is a 2000 lumen Olight flashlight, the BALDR PRO with the integrated laser. So here we've got our 15 yards, 25, 35, 45, 50, 60, and again, that propane tank about 50 to 60 yards away. So you can see with this 2000 lumen flashlight, you can see a little bit beyond, okay? You can see those crosses down there. We couldn't see those before with the night vision. So you can see a little bit further with a 2000 lumen weapon light. This thing costs roughly half what you'd pay on the night vision setup. But of course you don't get the advantages of night vision. So just to give you some perspective, if you're debating whether or not to use a flashlight or night vision, this kind of gives you an idea how much better you can actually see with a flashlight. Everything is much more clear, but distance-wise, it's about the same. You might be able to reach out with a little bit better, more focused beam flashlight, but of course you don't get the advantages of night vision. All right, and here we are now filming with the NVRS, and this is that 15 yards away. Obviously this is a 3 times zoom, so 15 yards, 25 yards, 35, 45, 50, 60. See that propane tank, you can see it super clear. So 70, 80, we can see way out there. We can see those crosses now that we weren't seeing before. Probably can see out past 100 yards with this, assuming what you're looking at is something that the infrared can bounce off really well. So really cool feature about this night vision is the ability to dim or brighten up the crosshairs. Sorry, I'm failing at holding this in a way the camera can pick it up. Very cool, because if you're looking at something super close, like this tree that's only 15 yards away, can brighten up that crosshair so you can see it really good. But if you're looking at something way out, 100 yards away, you can dim that crosshair so you can kind of see better what you're looking at, kind of see through the crosshair. So cool that you can dim or brighten it up. Pretty cool little optic. Man, look how clear that looks. 60 yards away. Without this, that thing would be invisible. You can see it just fine. So Gen 1 night vision definitely has its place. It's not the best stuff, but for the money, it certainly is useful. Now, typically Firefield sells this for about $400 actually, but right now they actually have it on sale on their website for $299. And on top of that, they actually hooked me up with a coupon code that I'm passing along to you guys. You can save an extra $15. So details on that in the description. So you can pick up one of these for about $285. Now that is a screaming deal for a true Gen 1 night vision rifle scope. Now, one thing I learned when I was doing my research for this video is that Firefield and Sightmark are actually part of a bigger parent company called Sightmark, okay? So why is that cool? It's cool because this Sightmark gear is actually heavily discounted right now as well. So typically this night vision goggle setup would run you about $299, and right now it's discounted to just $209. And this infrared laser typically runs like $130, $140, and they have it for $79 right now. So these two together, less than $300. Combine that again with my 5% coupon code down in the description, and you can save another $10 or $15 on top of that, and you can get a really sweet, totally usable, more tactical setup. Now, how practical is a setup like this for hunting? I have no idea, okay? Like I mentioned, I'm not much of a hunter, certainly not a nighttime hunter. So those of you guys who are hunters, please chime in the comments. Let me know if you think a setup like this would be practical for hunting or not. But for me, I think just having fun at night at the range, this is the clear winner for me. I also want to know, hunters out there, if you think that these Gen 1 night vision setups are actually a major advantage over just using a high quality flashlight, because it's something that I'm still honestly on the fence about. Okay, I can't make up my mind. I see how they can be very practical and usable, but for me, and I think just because I've done so much training with a flashlight, I would prefer a flashlight at this point, maybe. But again, I'm not an expert in the field by any means. But if you guys are interested in more budget firearms accessories, definitely check out that playlist right up there. I'm Dan, this is Guns and Guitars, and I will see you in that next video.